Ooh, that looks tasty. Folks, today the Hungry Gamer is back with another crowdfunding preview, and today we're talking about Wine Cellar, designed by Andrew Stiles with art by Vincent Dutrait and published by 25th Century Games. Now before I get started, please make sure you turn your Klingon subtitles, because if I make any mistakes in the rules overview, that is where you'll find those corrections. And second, this is a prototype copy, so please just understand that because both the components and the rules are still subject to change. Now what this game is, this is a game where you and the other players are going to be doing your best to create the best wine cellar for your client. And the result of that is going to be how you have your 8 bottles of wine stacked up in the cellar, and whoever winds up having the best stack, earning the most points, will be the winner. This is a game that plays in about 10 to 15 minutes. However, before I go any further, if you are not interested in how this game is played, as we'll jump into my final thoughts, please go to the timestamp on the screen right now. For those of us still here, let's talk about how this game is played. So to get started, you will deal out a certain number of these wine bottle cards based on the number of players. This is enough cards for a 2-player game, meaning there are cards numbered 1 through 18 up here in the corner. Then what you'll do is you'll shuffle them up, and each player will be dealt 8 cards. So again, in a 2-player game, we would have 8 per player. And that means there will be 2 left, and those start out in the middle as the prize bottles, which you are actually playing for in the first round. Each player is also going to wind up getting a client card, and what that means is, what is it that your client is specifically looking for? So in this case, bottles that have this rose symbol or the star symbol, which are found right here, though neither of these have it, will be worth 3 extra points, and depending on the number of players you have, there are certain types of wine they want. So in a 2-player game, every American-style wine that you find, like this one right here, will be worth an extra 3 points, whereas in a 3 or 4-player game, it's notated here, 5 and 6 here, and 7 and 8 notated here. And what is going to happen is, each player is going to look at their hand and pick one of their wine bottles that they would like to put on offer. So we'll just pretend this player is taking this one, and again, you can look at these. I'm just doing this at random for the example. And we'll say the other player has this one. Then you look at the number in the top left. Whoever has a higher number, they get first choice. So this player gets first choice, so we'll just say they're going to take this bottle here, and this other player is going to take this bottle here. Then the 2 bottles that were bid become the offer for the next round. So let's just do a little shift here, and let's talk about what you're going to do with your bottles. You're going to place your bottle in your wine cellar. Then every subsequent bottle, you will either place below it or above it. And what you're seeing here, in addition to the symbols here for your set collection and extra points, is you are seeing these numbers here. What this is saying is, if this is the top bottle of the stack, it'll be worth 7 points. But if I wind up getting it to be the second bottle of the stack, it's now going to be worth 8 points. But this one here is only worth 1 point, because this wants to be at the bottom. So as you can see, as you're kind of moving through, you'll be stacking your wine, again on top or on bottom, trying to get the most points. So right here, this is really good. I have 8 points with that, 8 points with that, but this is terrible right here. So that's really pretty bad. And this one down here is actually also really good where it is right now, but of course I have to put 4 more bottles in, again, always on the top or on the bottom. And you're going to play through until everyone has 8 bottles, meaning you will use your entire hand, will be played out, but there will be 2 bottles left in the middle because you will have no way to bid for them. Then you'll add up the points, whoever has the most points wins. And so that's how this game works. So what do I like about this game? The first thing is small box, gotta love that. And also it is very fast. It is very easy to learn. It is very fast to play. This is a game that is, it's a filler. That's absolutely what it is. This is a filler game that you're gonna take, you're gonna throw out, knock out a game or 2 while you're waiting for people to show up, or maybe if you're the type that takes it to like a pub or a coffee shop, you throw it down on the table, play something while you're just chatting. Because it's also not a game that is super brain burny, even with the puzzle that is there, because you don't have a lot of choices. You're going to decide what you're going to put out, because when you know what you're trying to get, and then it's top or bottom. That's it. That's all the decision you have to make. So it's very much a casual game that you can just kind of hang out, play, talk, have a good time. The next thing I'll say is, I think the puzzle of trying to get the wine bottles racked in a way to where you are maximizing the score is actually a pretty interesting little puzzle. Even though you can just put top or bottom, you're very much trying to think ahead a couple of rounds so you're able to not only get what you want this round, but get what you want this round with something that you think you might be able to get the next round. I think that is a clever bit of gameplay that you're dealing with there. Along with that, I think the secret clients that you have adds a bit to the replay because you kind of have other little special hidden goals that you're chasing, though those goals can wind up scoring a lot of points, which may or may not be to your taste. Which brings me to what are my quibbles with the game. No, I only really have one. There's not a lot of game here. Like, this is a filler game, and at the risk of sounding like a pejorative, this is almost a game that feels like a game of war that you've added some actual game to. Because you're doing your bid, you're putting out your cards, and then you're going to get to take one of those cards, and then instead of just putting them into your stack, you're building a little tableau. Now, again, that really sounds like a pejorative, but it's important to me that I say it like that. And I don't think it's a pejorative, but it's important to me that I mention it's just that simple. Like, the game is just that simple. It is half a step up from the complexity of war, but it works in a way that I think is pretty satisfying overall. But again, this is not a wine game like Viticulture that has a ton of meat, a ton of depth. It is exactly what it is. You play a card, if you got the high one, you get to pick first. You take that, you put it on the top, or you put it on the bottom. If you're using the little secret client, you're maybe trying to match up countries or you're trying to match up symbols. Done. That's it. I've now taught you the whole game. So, there you have it, folks. That is Wine Cellar. I think this is a game that, if you like the aesthetic of the game, and you like the idea of racking wine, and you like that puzzle of trying to get the top to bottom kind of diagonal scoring, then you're probably going to enjoy it. It plays very fast. It's an inoffensive game, which again sounds like a pejorative, but I don't mean it that way. It's just a quick, light filler that I enjoyed, and I would absolutely play it again. So, there you have it, folks. As always, if I made any mistakes in the rules overview, please let me know in the comments with the timestamp so I can give it a Klingon subtitles. As always, if you found this video useful, please like, subscribe, share, maybe become a channel member. As always, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.